What up, people? This is Missing Conversation where the conversation is missing. I am True Poet. Thank you guys for tuning in to all my previous podcasts. Thank you to all the guests that appeared on the podcast as well. Numbers is slowly going up, slowly. I appreciate everyone for checking out all of my podcasts. The last episode was a great episode. I thank you to my guest JD for telling his story. It was a deep conversation, and I appreciate you with sharing your story to the people. Much love to you, JD. Shout out to T Black. Shout out to Bruce. Shout out to Walt, OG Dub. Shout out to all of the guests that was a part of the podcast. So on this episode, man, I have to dive in on something that really starting to see a lot of. And I have done a lot of research on what I'm about to talk about money, finances, the changes from all the way back from the 50s, 60s, all the way to now. I've done a lot of research on this today while I was doing some work with my website and with my business. It's all the papers of the pay wages from all the way back from the 60s until now. And to all the viewers, I would like for you guys to check this stuff out. Research the information to see what I am about to speak on. I think what I'm starting to see with a lot of people is a lot of entitlement. And when I say entitlement, I don't think people really appreciate everything that we have as a people. The money, the education, the just the a lot of stuff that we didn't have before that we have now, especially when it comes to my community. And I realize there are certain things that still needs to be worked on, and it's not where it needs to be when it comes to us. But when it comes down to certain things as far as education and making money and setting yourself up, setting your family up, we have far more opportunities now than we did before. And that's due to a lot of our ancestry. That's due to my grandparents, your great grandparents open up doors to doing different things. So we are able to opportunities to make this kind of money that we have made. And for me, I have made some good money. I've made close to six figures. I've made different amount of money, but that was above average salary. So, I'm thankful for all of that. I've gotten different trades with different things as well. And I worked some great jobs. I was awarded some great opportunities. And I will say this, doing my research on a lot of these things, and I'm gonna take race out of the equation, even though a lot of the stuff that I researched today is a lot of it is based on race and levels of who made the most, what group made the most, male, females, Asian, white, black, all these different things. I'm gonna exclude all of that because I really feel like a lot of us are really entitled. And I love the NBA, I love football, I love boxing, I love all these different sports. like I stated before in my previous podcast, I'm not really a big fan of anyone. I like who I like. I like players, but as far as me being a fanatic and going crazy over, another human being, I'm not gonna do that. That's never been my style. I've met some NBA stars, shook their hand, and went about my way. They went about their way, or we're in the same spot. I'm doing my thing, they're doing their thing, and I'm really disappointed in what I'm seeing as far as a collective of us as human beings. And what I mean by that is I don't think we're truly grateful of what we have, and realizing that at any time we can lose things. Nothing is guaranteed. Not even living is guaranteed. You know, we can not wake up tomorrow. We can get sick today. There's a lot of things that can happen. We can get in a car and get into a car accident. We can lose everything. And I have lost a lot in my life. Currently I've lost a lot of money, and I think I think for me, I've always, like I said in previous videos, I've always been humble. But I think this time has made me more humble in realizing that nothing is guaranteed, right? Things can be going one way for a period of time, and we can be okay. And things start to happen that is out of your control. We control our decisions, right? But outside of us controlling our decisions, we don't know what's going to happen once we step outside, once we go to work, once we are in relationships with people, we have children, we have family members. We can't control things outside of us. We may think that we have all the control, but I'm here to tell you we don't. You don't know what's going. Only thing we can control is our decisions, right? We can control our decisions and saying, okay, we're not going to get on a plane, we're not going to drive, we're not going to do certain things, right? But once we get on a plane, then after that, once we get on a plane, we don't control the outcome of what happens once we're on the plane, because anything can happen on the plane. Same thing with a car. We control our side of the car when we drive, but we don't control the other drivers. We don't control everything on the road. If we had on all the control, a lot of things wouldn't happen. So as I'm researching and I'm thinking about certain things that's happening around me, social media, reading different articles, and I get to a point where the thing with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant and all these different NBA players is all around. It's on every news channel. It's on all social media platforms. It's on ESPN. It's on YouTube. It's on everything. So I started thinking about all these things that are happening amongst the men, the women, the men with all their jewelry, their fancy cars, and all these different things that people have grown to be infatuated with. Women being infatuated with hair, uh, changing their body parts, clothes, makeup, all these different things. And I said, you know what? Let me do some research and look at the numbers, comparing the numbers from the 50s all the way to now, right? So obviously, the pay wages are going to be dramatically different, right? Of course, now we're going to be getting paid more because inflation is really high now. Before, in those times, you could get a loaf of bread for 5 cents. You can't get no bread for 5 cents right now. So that'll show you the differences, right? And I'm not saying that entitlement hasn't always existed. For me, I think from what I'm seeing and from me talking to the older people that's been here before me, it's just different. Um, I think the older people really appreciated what they have more than now. And another thing that sparked this conversation up for me on wanting to do a video about it was I went to see a friend of the family, my grandmother's close friend, which his wife just recently passed, Mrs. P. Rest in peace, Mrs. P. and Mr. P. And we was having a good conversation, and he was just telling me about, stuff that went on back in his time. This man is about to be 99 years old, right? One of the best men you can ever meet. Right now, he's not really the same of what he used to be a few years ago. He used to be able to drive and was one of the best drivers I ever seen for a 90-something-year-old. He drove better than a lot of people on the road, drove careful, watched what he was doing on the road. And to me, a good driver is not about speeding. It's about observation. It's about knowing when to turn, knowing how to shift lanes, know how to command and drive on the road and paying attention. It's not about driving fast. Just because you drive fast doesn't equate that you're a good driver. You see what I'm saying? I'm not really much of a speed side. I might do a little bit over the speed limit, but I try to stay in my parameters of the speed. I want to make sure I pay attention to the road. Don't really talk on the cell phone. I cut my cell phone off and I put it away while I'm driving. So I try to just be disciplined as much as I can. I'm not perfect, but I try to be as disciplined as I can. So let me get back to the story. So he was telling me about his times and farming and doing different things and how much he really appreciated life. So it had me thinking once I got home from this conversation. It's a beautiful conversation with him. So once I got home, I'm looking, and while I'm working online, I'm looking and I'm seeing all these different things on Kevin Durant, Kyrie, and these different players. And I'm seeing that Kevin Durant wants a trade, but he's under contract for, I guess, almost $200 million for 4 years, right? Which he's a phenomenal player. I'm not taking nothing away from him or Kyrie or any of these players, but I have to speak on this, on saying the guys before these guys have not made as much money, not even a quarter of the money that these guys make. Granted, they didn't have as much power as these guys, but they played hard. They never missed a game. They honored the game. They loved the game. So my thing is with these new, not only just players, just people in general, why are we so entitled in thinking because things don't go your way, you want to run, or you don't have nobody to tell you, man, you wrong right here, And that's one thing with me. I would rather be around people that I know that's gonna tell me, hey man, that was wrong right there. Or hey man, you're making a decision that I feel that's gonna hurt you. Why are we so entitled? Why not honor the privileges that we have today that our people back in the days, excuse me, didn't have? You know, I think the one thing that me losing everything this time has taught me is to be humble and to be thankful for everything. I'm going to even be more thankful for when I get it all again. And I will get it all again, and I'm going to get more. I'm not a guy that believes on giving up, or believes that just because one thing happens, that is going to equate to everything being bad. Granted, sometimes things happen at a rapid pace, but I think that's all to test you and to see your will, and to see where will you take it, and how will you prevail through whatever you're going through. I don't think it's over when you're going through certain things. And as I stated before, these players are phenomenal players, but why are you so entitled to, you're not honoring your contract, or you're not honoring the people that look up to you? What are we teaching these kids? That when things are get rough, you're gonna run? And I was reading, I'm not sure how true everything is, but the Nets giving these guys everything that they wanted, from what I read. I don't know how true this is. They've given them the money that they wanted. They've given them the players that they wanted. Uh I've read they wanted DeAndre Jordan with them. They got him. They wanted Steve Nash as the coach. Well, I think that was more of KD, because Steve Nash came from Golden State. They wanted James Harden. They got what they wanted. Kyrie wanted time off or whatever. Now, as far as the shot thing, I understand that. I understand that. But everything else, I don't understand. Now, if somebody's working for me, right, or I'm working for someone else, and I'm hardly available, why would someone want to hire me if I'm hardly available? Or why would someone give me money or pay me money if they know, right, that number one, I'm not going to honor our agreement, and I'm not going to honor me working for them and trying to set a good precedent in worth ethic and being there every day. I'm a man of principle. When I worked, there was a stretch, and maybe this probably caused me to get injured, but I worked two great paying jobs, right? At one time, and still was a father to my kids. There was a stretch I didn't take a day off in 10 months. 10 months I didn't take one day off. Never was late, didn't call out. I came to work every day. That's the type of discipline I display when I'm in tune and when I'm working. And now that I'm working for myself, there are times that I hardly sleep. Has it paid off in full yet? No. Is it going slow? Yes. But I know if I continue to work and display this hard work ethic into my business, into my brand, one day it's gonna make it to where I want it to. And then I gotta keep going. You know what I mean? So that's my thing. If somebody's paying me, just like for my product, my clothes, my art. Someone is paying me. I want to make sure they get the best quality, the best product that they can get. I'm not going to short a person that's giving me their money to pay me for something that I've created. So my thing is, I'm going to do everything to the best of my abilities. And these dudes are making millions of dollars. So if you're making millions of dollars, and I hope God, I pray to God that I still have this mentality, even though, I know I'm going to reach that point to where I'm going to be making um, millions of dollars. I want to make my first million by the end of this year. I'm manifesting that. It doesn't look too bright as yet, but if I keep going forward, if I keep speaking it, if I keep talking it, if I keep praying about it, if I keep moving forward and working hard, it will come. So that's my thing. But I want to stay grounded and not develop any type of entitlement. I think for me, that's one behavior I have never portrayed. I have never displayed that type of behavior, because everything that I've gotten, I had to earn it. I had to earn everything that I've gotten. I've never shortchanged anything. I never took the easy way out to do anything. Everything that I do, I give it 110%. I give it my all. So if I'm working, I'm giving it my all. I'm coming to work. I'm doing my job. I'm trying to do my job to the best of my abilities, no matter how I feel. I'm coming to give it my all. That's how I did it with anything. Everybody have their days, but I just believe that you should always display this type of work ethic whenever you're doing anything. But I'm looking and I see these different things, not only with athletes, just with people. That entitlement thing is really it's a real thing. And I don't think we truly appreciate everything that we have as a collective, as a people. We display these bad behaviors and don't understand that all of this stuff can be taken away. There's countless of stories of people making millions of dollars that have lost millions of dollars. Now I've lost thousands of dollars. I haven't lost no millions. I haven't got to that level yet. But I'm hurt by just losing thousands of dollars. So just imagine a person that have lost millions. I've lost everything. I've lost everything before, being in a house fire with losing everything. So I know what it is to lose. But I don't understand why we as a people have developed this entitlement thing, and then when we have cars, or we have money, or we have these different things that society deems as great, we think we better than another person. And it's like, that don't make you better than anyone. None of us are better than anyone. I don't care how you want to slice it and dice it with this high value man or high value woman, man. All of that is crap, man. Are there people that are more successful? Yes. Are there people that's less successful? Yes. Are there people that's poor? Yes. Right? Is that due to circumstances, choices, generational wealth in a lot of different cases? Yes. But that still doesn't equate that you're better than someone else. So this entitlement thing is really getting out of control. And I don't know Kevin Durant. I don't know any of these NBA players or these stars, but I'm disappointed. And I love him as a player. I think he's one of the greatest basketball players I ever seen in my life, man. I've never seen a display of greatness like this guy. This guy has all the tools in the bag as a basketball player. Kyrie, same thing. The handle, one of the best handles, if not the best handles I ever seen in my life. He's a phenomenal ball player, but the entitlement thing of these guys are making millions of dollars, generational wealth to change their whole family dynamic, and I don't think they truly appreciate it from what I see. I don't know them personally, but from what I see, what I've read, and I could be wrong, but I don't know, man. I just see it as a collective of people of not really honoring, things or what they have gotten or the money that they have made. You think about all these people from our past of professional players that had to have another job and play sports in order to make ends meet and take care of their family. You think about that. Now these guys don't have to have no other job. And some of these guys have businesses, endorsements, and they make millions of dollars from all of these different avenues. And you think about the guys that came before us, like Bill Russell, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Elgin Baylor, Oscar Robinson, Walter Payton, all these different great athletes, Lawrence Taylor, they're not making this kind of money. But I just don't think that these guys or people in general really appreciate the things that they have. And that's basically what I wanted to touch on. I was gonna dive into the numbers, but viewers, I let you go do the research, put in the work, and leave a comment in what you think about the pay scale, the numbers of the increase in inflation of money, of spending, of living, of poverty. That number fluctuates as well. So to all my viewers, I want you to do your research, because I've done mine, a lot of different papers, man. And this is what I do, man. I like to really study and really seek information. I don't want to be told information. I like to go research this information myself so I can be able to have discussions on what I've researched and also know what I'm talking about as well, instead of seeing it on TV or hearing it from someone else or hearing it on the radio or these different things I'm not really into. I like to read stuff, books, research things, and find out information. So I really wish this entitlement amongst people, not just my race, but just the race. And I'm not going to make this about a race. I said that in the beginning. But what I researched, they did a whole race, but it's predominantly different races on what this race makes or what um women and men comparisons. I'm not going to get into that. This video is really about the entitlement factor of not appreciating everything we have and losing focus on that. They're losing focus on what's really important, you know. And for me, material things is not really the main focus of mine. I'm not very materialistic, and my thing on want to be wealthy is not your common thing. I don't want no chains. I don't want cars. I want to really help people and set up different foundations and set up things for my family and my children. These are things that I want to do. It's not for me. I'm not a flamboyant guy. Yes, I've always dressed or nice or whatever. Sneakers. I was really into sneakers. I had to stop buying sneakers because I had too much. Still have a lot, but I've never been a flamboyant guy. I'm not into no chains or grills or any of that stuff or tattoos. I've never been into that stuff. My main thing is wanting to help and change the circumstances of my family and change circumstances for my mother, make sure that she's okay and she can live comfortably in her older age. I don't want my mom's working till 65 or 70 years old. Want her to be okay. She put in her time. And for me, I've put in my time, even though I'm way younger than her, but there was times I was working 2, 3 jobs for the whole year. So even me, I put my time in, and now, my main time now goes to my business and my brand. Want to really redirect my focus into all of that and looking at all the positives. So I think this entitlement thing, to my peoples out there, if you're entitled, try to work on that. Try to work on that, brothers and sisters. If this is you, work on that. We have no business being entitled. Just because you're more educated, just because you make more money or you have more things than someone else, doesn't make you better than them. And we have to start learning to appreciate everything we have. We can't be around and act like these things are gonna keep going or we're gonna live forever. Guess what? Newsflash, people. No one lives forever. All of us have a date. So if you're gonna be here, man, well, why not live righteous? Why not live on one accord? Why not appreciate the things that we have? Because the ones that came before us, they wasn't making the money that we made. You know, they wasn't. You know, so at the end of the day, we must redirect our focus and learning how to be more humble, to be more thankful, to be more gracious in what we have, and learning through our losses, to which I'm learning now. Because for a little while I was angry about stuff that I've been losing and money and people and things happening that I thought people was down with me and wait, I feel like I wasted money. But then I had to look at it. And I think I recently started to look at this, that these things are learning lessons. So losses are learning lessons. Failures are learning lessons. So because you failed at something, because you lost, it's not over. So I had to realize that and I had to let that go. And realizing that life is not over. And there are people in far worse positions than I am. Maybe I might be far worse in a far worse positions than some people, but there's levels. There's people that's in far worse positions than me, and it could go on and on. There's people that can't walk, they can't talk. There's people that's permanently paralyzed, they can't take care of themselves. So we have to be thankful for just walking, talking, feeling, being able to see, hearing. You think about all these people that are struggling with these different ailments, and we out here complaining about things that can be replaced. So, that's my whole video on this. I wanted to touch on these things here. And I'm disappointed, man, to see that not just athletes, just a lot of people in general, and now I'm at a place in my life where I don't care about none of that stuff. Like, all of that stuff doesn't impress me. What impresses me is being kind-hearted, is being loving, is being empathetic, it's being understanding, and it's being not horrible towards people, not disrespecting people. Because at the end of the day, we all human beings and we live in a cruel times. And I think for me too, I don't really like what I'm seeing on social media, and this is why I deleted my social media before. But excuse me, I need my social media. So what I would do is just concentrate what I'm doing, and keep putting out content. I can't focus on these negatives. It's too much negative stuff going on out here. Too much with this entitlement thing too. It's too much of that. And then to my brothers out here, we have to be careful. Just because you getting some money, that doesn't make you exempt to get away with certain things. And I'm talking to the guys that got caught up in certain things. We gotta leave things alone. Once you start making money and you're able to take care of your family, able to do stuff, you have to learn how to stay in line, man. And that's what I've learned from before. You have to learn how to walk away from certain situations. Because when I was younger, I was hot. I was a hothead. You know, I was ready to take it all the way there with anybody. But I think once I had my children, I slowly started progressing, and I changed the mindset of understanding that I don't have to put myself in certain situations. So this mindset has changed me and directed me into a better direction, and it's kept me out of danger. It has kept me out of prison. It has kept me from doing wrong things, even though sometimes I felt like it was warranted. But I had to understand that there's consequences in everything that we do. And being a man and being a black man, I have to be very cautious in how I move. I cannot display a lot of aggression and anger over nonsense, you know. So I had to learn that, and it has made me a better man. And am I perfect? No. We feel, we hurt, we in pain. But I had to realize, and I was also speaking to a friend of mine today, which is Mr. P's daughter. And I had to tell her, like, in our society, people don't care how men feel. So most of the time, there's no type of empathy for men and whatever we go through. It's sad to say, and it's not right, but that's the truth and that's a fact. There is no type of empathy for us. I've experienced this in being in relationships with women, having children, even down to your children. Sometimes don't even there's there is no type of empathy towards their father. There's more empathy towards their mother and women more than men. Even as a child, even as a boy child, there's different levels. Yeah, they'll show empathy for children, but when it comes to boys, it's different. So I had to tell her that nobody cares about what I'm going through. Nobody cares. So there's no empathy. So I have to always have that in my mind that, okay, I'm going through this. I got to deal with this, and I cannot let this overtake me. Yes, it gets hard, and I have my days, but I have to push because, like, once again, nobody cares. Nobody's going to say, here's money to pay your bill. I think the only woman for me in my life that has always, I'm not saying my grandmothers have, but I'm saying overall my whole life, my mother is the only one that will say, "You all right?" Will be there. But other than that, even some people's mothers don't even show empathy. Even some people's wives, even to a point, I've had been in a relationship with people, they'll show empathy a little bit, but not that much. And it's sad, but I'm telling to the brothers out there, to the men, this is what it is. You gotta push. You got to. I'm following my own advice. Cause trust me, I'm going through my own things right now, and I'm not perfect, but I gotta push. So to my brothers, if you need somebody to talk to, the information is there. I say this in every video, and I will continue to say it. You need somebody to talk to, reach out to me. We have a man-to-man conversation. If you're a young lad, you need some influence, you need some motivation, you need somebody to talk to, I'm here. I have empathy for people because I know what it is not to have it. Only one is probably my mother, and a lot of times I don't even open up and telling my mom everything. As a man, it's like we're conditioned and trained to be like this, just close, because it's like most of the time on the internet, YouTube, people laugh at your pain. People laugh at you. People will laugh at you for even crying, for even showing any type of emotion. A man or a child could have lost his mother, could have lost everything, and they'll beat you up and torch you for crying until they're in that position. So most of the time, most men, they'll just wait till they'll to for them to be by themselves before they show any emotions or let out any tears. So, because as a man, we don't have that comfort level to reach out and say, hey, I need somebody to lean on. So you got to just deal with it. And I'm at a point in my life now that, for me, I'm going forward. I'm not mad at nobody I've lost or people that did me wrong. Much love to them. Like I said, even that, I've grew to understand forgiveness and learning how to forgive and moving forward. You can't hold on to things. Sometimes you have to say to yourself, you know what? It's not worth it. So I'm going to keep it moving. I'm going to redirect my focus and understanding that it's going to hurt me by losing people. It's going to hurt me in different situations because you could love someone, and I love people. I think that's one of the things that I have too, that I love people. I'll help the world if I could. If somebody needs something, and somebody needs anything, and I have it, I'm going to try to help them. And I think for me, I made the mistakes of overstepping and helping, because sometimes that puts me in a bind, especially when it comes to people that I love. I will give half of me, losing half. If it's my last, I'll do that because I love them, and I would expect that in return if I needed it. But a lot of times you're not going to get that in return, and it all goes back to that entitlement thing. And it's sad. It's sad. It's sad that we as a people live like that, but this is the way of the world, and you just have to adjust. And fortunately for me, not unfortunately, fortunately for me, I've adjusted, and I realized that I have to move a certain way. I realized that now I'm really moving by myself. Me and my guy Phil. It's really only two of us. And now that I'm realizing it, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with it. And I know who's who. So, you have to accept things. You have to do what you need to do, no matter who's around, no matter if it's zero people, no matter who's around, you have to keep pushing. And so hopefully, man, hopefully this hopefully it gets better with this entitlement thing, and people start really appreciating what they have instead of complaining and being argumentative over who has this or who has that. And me, I don't care about none of that stuff. I don't care. I don't care what you have. I don't care if you're a billionaire, a millionaire. That's you. That's one thing with me. I respect a person and what they displaying towards me. I'll come to you and give you respect, even if you got a penny. So, for me, I'm not just gonna give you respect because you're rich or you have more than me or whatever, or you have a better car, or that's never been my thing. And most of the time, some of the coolest people are the people that don't have anything. Some of the coolest people, some of the best conversations I've had was with people that were homeless, that didn't have anything. And I would sit there with them and talk to them, even give them a hug. And it's like, man, I wish, a lot of times I wish I could have done more, but I did what I could, whether buying them food, giving them money, or coming out there every week, which I want to get back into doing that as well. Um, I'm just grateful and thankful that I finally gotten healthier with my back. So now I'm able to do more, and it's just been a grind. But for me, I thank God. I thank God for everything that I've had. I thank even for the losses of me losing a lot of different stuff, or losing people, or losing relationships, or losing a relationship of a woman that I really loved. I mean, it's there's nothing that I could do about these situations but keep going forward. It's painful, but again, I can't sit in it and just feel like life is over, because life is not over. I'm granted another opportunity to live. And I think for the most part, all you need is another opportunity to live. You think about all the people, the kids, the people that are sick, that have died, that haven't been afforded this opportunity. So I'm grateful in it. So hopefully one of these days, man, this entitlement thing changes, and I hope for the next generation that it doesn't get worse, but it's really bad, man. And it's no disrespect to none of these people. Like I said, I don't know them, and it's not just only directed towards them, it's just people in general. Um with not being grateful and thinking because you have certain things that you're better than another person, or you're high value, all that high value, man, get out of here with that, man. Come on, man. Are you high value when you in the grave? You high value then? Or you leave all this stuff behind? My thing is, I want to create a legacy. I just don't want to be another person. I want my legacy to continue. So whether or not whether or not I obtain millions of dollars or whatever I obtain, which is going to happen, right? My thing is building different things, helping people. That's my thing. I would rather me buying a Ferrari or whatever. I would rather use that money to help some people or help my community. And that's where that and man, some people might call me foolish for being like that, but what I'm gonna do with a Ferrari? I don't care about it. So I'm gonna look nice in a Ferrari. That's the only thing it could do for me. What, I'm gonna be able to get more women because I have a Ferrari? I don't want that. Or a Lamborghini? Who cares? My main focus is on building generational wealth, helping families, helping men, helping boys, mentoring and just trying to uplift my community. I'm on a bigger path. On a bigger path, and I realize my purpose because God has given me the vision. God has spoken to me. Every time I pray to him, God speaks to me and says, everything is going to be all right. Keep pushing. I'm behind you and things are going to change. And it will, because I'm going to keep manifesting this. So I don't want no fancy cars. My path is bigger than all of that. So to all my peoples out there, man, be better with your peoples, man. Be better and be grateful for what you have. Stop this entitlement. Think about your grandparents, your great grandparents, and what they had to do to, I had people in my family that picked cotton that was getting paid 20 cents or 30 cents a day. We didn't have to go through that. Yeah, we have our struggles still as black people and as black men. We have our struggles, not taking that away. But we've been afforded opportunities that our ancestry has fought for us to have. So why are we being ungrateful for it? That's my question to you all. Hey, man, so in closing, I want to thank everybody for checking out my videos. Like, comment, subscribe, share. I love all you people out there, whether I know you or not. My love is here. New stuff on the way with different things. Check out my clothing on my website that I'm gonna put in the comments. Check out my artwork. Support it. Uh, I appreciate you if you do. Share it. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And I'll keep you in my prayers. You keep me in your prayers as well. So shout out to you. I hope your weekend is going well. Hope you have a great week next week. And if you had a bad day, I hope tomorrow's a better day. And that's another thing too that I've learned. There's no such thing as a bad day. We make the day what we make it. Bad things can happen, and sometimes we stay in that negativity. So I've learned how, okay, because something bad happened today, I learned to be like, okay, look, you know what? That happened already. I got to move on. I have to be positive. So this is a mindset that I'm learning to do, on not staying in that negativity, not staying in the place of that situation that happened that was bad. Just being thankful. Okay, it could have been worse. Once you have a chance to live, that's all you need. So that's what my mindset is. And hopefully you get there too. So once again, I want to thank everyone for checking out my podcast, checking out this episode, and work on that entitlement. Work on yourself as I do as well. We need to teach the youth better. And I'm about to get out of here. Share this, like I said, like it, comment. If this is missing conversation, where the conversation is missing, I am True Poet. Check me out whenever I come out. Check out the poetry, check out the art, check out the clothing, and I send my love to everyone. Salute you guys. Have a great night. Peace and love.